Hello, so in this video we're taking a look at why driving anxiety is so much more difficult to overcome than other fears and phobias. My name's Paul and I work with people online all over the world to help them overcome their fear of driving. And many people ask me, why is it so hard to get rid of this compared to other things that I overcame quite easily? So let's have a look at 5 reasons. Number 1 is that when you're driving a car, you are actually in control of the vehicle. So let's compare this to someone who's got a fear of flying. If you're scared of flying, all you've really got to do is go and sit in a plane and be flown somewhere. Now there are ways you can get around this even though they're not ideal. You can maybe drink alcohol before the flight. You can take sleeping pills so you can sleep during the flight. And you might even wear some kind of mask over your eyes so you can't see anything out the window. You can't drink alcohol, take sleeping pills and wear a mask to cover your eyes when you're driving, because that is of course dangerous. So when you're in control of the vehicle, there is more going on. Now let's just be honest and realistic about this. When you're driving a car, you can quite easily hurt or kill people. That's not stretching the imagination to think, well, yes, people do die in car crashes every day. And yes, there are plane crashes as well, but they are much, much rarer. And statistically, you're far safer flying than you are driving. The second reason it's harder to overcome is because it's something that you do every day. Most people will drive every single day of every month of every year. It's just something they do. Very often you might have 1 or 2 days off a week, but it's something you regularly do. Compare that again to flying. Most people will probably only fly once or twice a year, so the problem with the fear of flying is quite easy to avoid because you simply don't really have to do it that much. And with driving you do, because it's there in your face every day. And that brings us on to reason 3. It's very hard to avoid driving. So even if you walk or cycle or catch a bus or something like that, or a train, you may be in a situation where you're at work one day and the boss asks you to go out with someone else in a car to go and pick someone up or something, or to go and do some work somewhere else in a different department. So it's really hard to avoid driving because it could come up at any moment, anywhere, any day. It's not like with flying again. You are very unlikely to be sitting in an office and the boss walks in and says, "Hey, quick, I've got a private jet outside. I need you to go and fly somewhere." So it's actually much harder to avoid driving than other things. The 4th reason that driving anxiety is harder to fix is that this is something many people don't realise, it's the final stage of another problem. If you've watched other videos of mine, and I've got over 100 now on the fear of driving, you've probably heard me say that driving anxiety has nothing to do with driving. Your driving anxiety is a symptom of another problem. So even when people come to me and they say, "I've only had this driving anxiety for a few months, so it should be easier to fix," what you may not realise is that driving anxiety is very often the final stage of other things. So although you've only just got that, the real problem is something you've had for years. So you might say, well, yeah, it's only just begun, so can we just get rid of it quickly? Yes, we can, but you need to understand that the driving anxiety is never the issue. And I can guarantee you this 100% of the time. Your fear of driving has nothing to do with driving. And that brings us on to the 5th and final point, is that the fear of driving causes so many other problems. It's a bit like we mentioned earlier on. You can easily avoid flying if you're scared of snakes and spiders. You can quite easily avoid those depending on where you live in the world. But a fear of driving has a knock-on effect on so many other parts of your life. So for example, it's quite common for people to have arguments with a partner over the driving. It's common for people to have arguments with a family because family often just don't understand the problem and just say, "Look, you're being silly, just get on with it, just do it. Stop wasting your time." I've known family members to keep driving the person with anxiety and saying, "Look, just learn from it, it's fine, there's nothing to be scared of." That kind of stuff and exposure therapy does not work for fear of driving. And if ever you've been for things like CBT, counselling, traditional talk therapy, none of that will touch driving anxiety, because they always tell you to do this stupid thing where they say, drive a bit one day, then drive a bit further the next day, and a bit further the next day, what they call a fear ladder. And a fear ladder is when you're slowly climbing the ladder of fear, slowly exposing yourself to more and more danger, with the idea being that you slowly get used to it. But the big problem with that is, it doesn't work. And I've done another video talking specifically about that, but the reason it doesn't work is because the driving isn't the issue. So anyone who tells you to drive a bit more, they don't know what they're talking about, because they're working on the symptom, not the real problem. Check out these other videos on the screen now, and if you want help to overcome your fear of driving, contact me through my website firstdrive.com or use the links around this video. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you again soon for more videos.